Hi there, and you're very welcome to our 6th episode of the Science Lesson Support System, suitable for primary school from ages 6 to secondary and right through to long life learners. In our last episode, we covered electricity and how these simple little resources can help add connectivity to all of your existing science lesson plans through overlapping topics and integration. If you're new to us here, these resources and displays are a memory in themselves and will help guide you as the teacher. There's some important details in episode 1, so be sure to check it out. I'll link it below. Okay, let's get started. Magnetism is a physical phenomenon produced by the motion of electric charge, which results in attractive and repulsive forces between objects, and does really other cool stuff too. Magnetism is a huge subject as it affects everything all around us every day, and it has a close relationship with electricity. The Earth's core generates its own magnetic field, so the Earth is kinda like a giant magnet. The Earth's magnetosphere helps keep our planet safe from cosmic radiation and charged particles emitted by the sun. There are lots of ideas on doing magnetism, like iron filings, which unmasks a hidden form of magnetic field that we can't see with our eyes, or rubbing a pin and setting it on a paper in a bowl of water and making a compass, or putting a compass to a magnet, or putting a compass to a battery circuit, or even building an electromagnet. But what is magnetism, and how can we make that directly interact into all of our other topics and areas? Well, our main focus for the Science Lesson Support System is just that. It's to help connect this to all fields, topics and areas. And what's a super common denominator for that? You guessed it, atoms and molecules, nature's Lego. As mentioned, magnetism is caused by the motion of electric charges. As we covered in Solids, Liquids and Gases section in episode 3, everything we can see, smell, touch or feel is made of atoms, including humans and all life. Each atom themselves act like mini magnets. When atoms in a material are all pointing in opposite directions, they are commonly not magnetic. And when an atom's and electrons spin all point in the same direction, their fields all line up and the object becomes magnetic. Although there are several types of magnetism that all work in different ways, this one is most common to us. And this one is perfect to help us link into all other areas and topics. So let's build this representation of this change in atomic behavior. As explained in previous episodes, each color is an element, but all are atoms. The silver atoms can represent any metal you want. Examples of ferromagnetic substances are cobalt, nickel and iron, which are each an element, but all three are types of atoms. For today, we are choosing iron. Okay, let's build our resources that we can share with other classes throughout the school. All you need is a handful of silver coloured atoms, as many as you choose, and some electrons. We always like to remind you that it's important to keep it simple, that the different size connectors are irrelevant for primary. We say treat all connectors just as an electron. We will touch on this briefly though in episode 12. Although they'll learn a lot of the more complicated stuff in secondary school, this gives them a head start so it's not overwhelming. Science intimidation is why so many drop out of science. It's too much, too quick. Okay, nature loves to reuse its atoms, and atoms love to make friends. And when they do and hold hands, they make molecules. And voila! Here you have a very basic representation of a solid metal. This metal is not magnetic at this stage. We now need to make another second one to compare. And alakazam! Great, we now have 2 lumps of iron. Now we need to assign magnetic properties to each one. We do this by printing out our little arrows, or you can draw them on and just stick them on with blue tack. Whatever is easiest for you. If you've seen our last episode on electricity, I show you a really cool way to get your printing sizes correct so check it out in the link below. Now that we have our arrows ready, we simply just glue tack them on. On the non-magnetic material, we point the arrows in all different directions, so the fields are all not lining up, so it's not magnetic. But when we assign the arrows so that all the arrows are all pointing in the same direction, we are showing that all the atom's fields are all lining up. This means that the object becomes magnetic. And it's that easy. You can pause the video and just remember the 4 basics and you won't go too far wrong. And that's it. It's a short one, but these resources and displays are a memory in themselves and will help guide you as the teacher to add connectivity through all of your existing science lesson plans. Don't overthink it and just have fun, and everything will be explained throughout our episodes. And check out episode 1, which is really important. I'll leave a link below. Next time we will be taking a look at hot and cold things, so don't miss that. So thank you for watching this video, and we really hope it helps you. I've been your host Paul Brereton, and remember, you're not just teaching STEM, you're telling a story, the true story of nature.